My name is John Oguntuase. I am the director of the movie TRAMPLED, and I also act Wakapa's role inside Mahu. So Mahu is the producer of Starting Lady in the movie. So of course, Mahu also orchestrated in the publicity of some bad news. Of course, as it is in journalism school, they say that bad news is the news, So, but they want to enhance it. You know the way it is in this world now that people like to enhance and magnify the bad news. But it's good news to not be, it won't be exposed. So that is my singular assignment in this movie, is to make sure that I enhance the bad news. And then, of course, I have somebody who I work with me that probably was helping me with that, and later he discovered that she doesn't want to continue. And then Mahu will not have that. And then there's the battle line. As the director of the movie TRAMPLED, my job had begun from planning stage to pre-production stage. Of course, I was involved in the development of the story itself. I and the executive producer, Pastor Kemi Shodende, and of course the writer Indeola Inka. So for the building of the story, and then after we did the bit and they give it to her, she did her bit, and then we have to review again for second draft, for third draft, and probably the fourth draft. So, and that was a lot challenging because the story itself is very challenging, and it's a very sensitive story, and we did not want to misinform the audience or represent the Christian body in a bad light. So we have to keep reviewing the lines, the behaviors, the characters, and all of that. So that is for the pre-production. Of course, also packaged it for Solid Rock Foundation. So which includes assembly of cars, assembly of crew, everything about it. Of course, the executive producer was also very handy, and she played her own role too in doing all of this. So there was a lot on top of my head on this production. So it was a highly demanding production. The crew I work with were people that most of them, not all of them, I've been always working with, people like me, Family, Kendedo, Lafe, Mr. Kula Depoju, and Bayo Ife, Normal Creativity, Dockers, Timidai. These are the costume guys and makeup and lights. As I already Sam came on this one as a PM. So, of course, that understanding is there, that relationship is there, that communication is there. Now, but because it was it's a very huge cast production. We're talking over 100 cars, more than that. Even want to count the church people, far more than that. And then even the major the cars that has name in this production are 90. Named cars are 90. So unnamed one over 100, over 200. So having to assemble all of these guys and making it work is a lot. And then the scenes are many. So most of the night time we're shooting night. So and then people who understanding the assignment, of course, had to agree to do that, and we were doing that. So I think we were able to save a day or thereabout after, because that's time to rest and to relax and all of that. But on set, of course, we shot 6K. That is a lot of resolution. There's a lot of footage, very, very high footage, and we have everything on set. That the gimbal, the tracker dolly, the image, drone, everything we over there. And so we have everything we want to make this story, to tell the story, and that also does my heart. Whenever I see these GS, and so it always gingered me to we are here. So that's about that. Now, my relationship with the cast, of course, we have varieties of cast on that set. We have the young ones, of course, the ones that are probably my bros. And we have my counterparts, and we have my bonds, and we have my daddies. Like we have Tomiwa, we have Philip, Araifet, these ones are, and then of course, these are people that anytime I call them, they always answer, and they are like brothers, and so and they did well. Philip, even the whatever scene you give to them, whether the big ones or the short ones, they always deliver. That's why I'm very proud of all of them. And then we have the fact that the PVOs, Daddy Madekoju, Daddy Kuribiare, and Daddy Wujori, and we have the Egbons, Kebabs, Salara, Bogungayola, so there are varieties of casts, Samuji and Lola on set. So, and then of course we have always the bonding. These are people I've worked with, people that probably some let's say some grow, some that are like we are growing together. So it was fun, it was great having all of them on set, and we have a good time. We have a good time. Of course, I have to make the location comfortable for them, So that's it. Gayola is like my G. Although it's my Egbo, but it's my G. Go. Now, I've told him before production that, bro, first and foremost, you're going to be on set all through. One. Secondly, this thing will be demanding. If you know him, of course, he give his best and all of that, but he doesn't want to be stretched like that. I said, bro, this one I will stretch and stress you. Of course, he picked up the challenge accepted, and at the point I was meeting him, there were times where he was going to his accommodation. I think probably he just bent his back and he could not walk for hours. I think maybe a bone torn. I don't know what happened. There are days where he fell. There was a time where he was to shoot himself, and then character also be shot, and then he fell, and then he took 6 people. He's very giant and big to carry him up. That time where they pour water on top of his head, and then we just pouring the water, and he was facing up. Imagine, nose, eyes everywhere, ears, and then the water. The water entered through his nose, and it was, it is when water entered through your nose. It was crazy. I pity him. It was a selfless sacrifice. You can't pay anybody for such things, man. You can't pay. It's just passion that can drive people like that. And I want to appreciate him so much for giving all. I can say. And then one thing about it, I was crying almost all the time. Crying, emotions. It was emotional. In almost all the scenes, whether it's angry or it's crying or it's in pity form or it's in a melancholic state. So he was happily acting about 4 characters at the same time. That as a pastor, that as a bad boy. So I don't know. I think for me, I've seen him act before at least a lot of other scenes, but for me, acting this role in Trampled, the role of David in Trampled, brought about a freshness, if something new about him. And of course, I should not be making him out. You will see it when it's out. When Gayola as David, boom. This is like a major. And then those other 2 characters that did it for me was also Dadewo Jori and Daddy Madekoju. At the point they were sitting on the floor, tied, their hand being tied for hours. At the point they say, that say, you want to stand up, his back is really aching. At the moment we're dragging him, he could never stand up by himself again. So every cast did their best. There's no one to be thrown away that this one did not act or whatever. Everybody did their best, their very, very best. And it was the best because of the timing we were shooting. All the fathers at the point we're shooting, we're given an office to shoot, and we had to finish shooting in that place so we can move. The pastors that were involved, everybody, all the father, everybody did that. It was there, Stadiola, Daddy Yemi, Bojide, Ogumilade, Kebabs, everybody was in that place, and it was for like hours, from like day to night, middle of the night. So it was great to have all these people on set, sacrificing and putting their best into it, and for them believing in a small boy like me to lead the train. So that is it about him. What should we be expecting from the movie Trampled? Expect a lot of action. When I say this, I mean it. When I say this, I mean it so much. Action pack. Like, it's not the regular just drama. Action. Expect thriller, expect mystery, and expect drama itself. It is a highly intense story, very, very intense. It's a bit controversial too, but I don't want people to open their mind to it. This is brought by a deep inspiration of God. It's not because we want to make a story. It just came by itself from heaven for us to want to do this. So expect a very deep story, expect a very intense story, expect a very strong story, expect action movie, expect thriller, expect drama, and just expect everything in common. Expect the grace of God upon, expect a strong message, expect to be delivered, expect God to speak to you, and then God to speak to his body and people that are involved in this, in the whatever the story is treating, so that the objective of this story itself is to transform life, is to change mindset, is to make the body of Christ better. So expect changes after this. Of course, maybe that will be just boost. We're expecting all of that too. And so and then of course, as I said before, expect good picture, good quality production. A lot went into this production, we can't lie, and expect good production, good quality production, good sound, good picture, good everything, post-production, pre-production, everything was nice. So expect it. And expect that something that will go global, and so that is it. And so I want to just to of course I want to speak that lessons. We expect lessons to be learned from this story. Expect to a renewed mind, expect forgiveness, expect leadership, we expect that people learn good leadership, leading like Christ. Like Christ is the head of the church. What would Jesus do? So that what would Jesus do kind of expectation. So I want us to expect that, to expect that kind of lessons from it. The lesson to be learned from it, lesson of forgiveness, lesson of redemption, and lesson of probably surrenderness. So we learn that. You will learn all of these things and more. Because one thing I've observed from the time passes, you make a movie, you have expectations, and God will take it from you, and maybe you expect people to learn like 3-4 things, and God will make it 20 or more than that. So just open your mind and expect that God wants to speak with you through this movie, and then you'll be entertained and you'll be blessed. So that is about that. So expect Trampled on Solid Rock TV. So my name is John Oguntuase. I'm the director of movie Trampled, and I say watch out for Trampled coming up on Solid Rock Foundation TV YouTube channel. God bless you.